Hey, what's up, folks? Welcome back to another Tai Lopez exclusive with podcastformarketers.com. I'm Sonny T. And before we get started, you can follow me here at SoundCloud at Sonny-1-T. Come to the group, man. We have a good time over there. FunnelHackerPro.com. Stealthy Millionaire on Instagram, right here on YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, it's YouTube Podcast for Marketers. On Snap, it's Billionaire Vids and Billionaire Vid without the S on Twitter. Come over to the podcastformarketers.com and catch me on Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Plus. Smash that thumbs up if you like the video and subscribe to my channel if you like the content. And remember, let me know and comment below. Tell me, guys, what you guys got going on. I love the community we have here. Boom. Done. Now, that wasn't so bad, was it? Today, we get to hear from Josh Herb. Now, I'm not going to lie today. This was a total fluff piece right here, guys. To be honest with you, I don't know who this guy is, right? And I know that he is. It says I'm a multi-billionaire consultant and business growth strategist. And I know that he does classes on SEO, but I don't know much more about him. But this class was total fluff, and I'm cool with that, man. It's the end of the week, and we could always use with a little bit of fluff every once in a while. But what he had to say was decent. It wasn't like it was just like bad information. And today we're talking about getting equity, which I like, and other people's companies, okay? So what he was basically saying off the rip was, you want to negotiate to get equity. And, if you're going to be doing work for people's companies, it is possible to get more than your just $1,000 to $10,000 a month. And he was like, listen, guys, a closed mouth won't get fed. You better ask. And he was saying that you can ask people for a percentage. Like he might say, give me $10,000 plus 5%. Okay. I go for more than that, right? And he'll give you a lesson for that in a minute, but I'm always at 10%, 10, 15%, and I want more than $10,000 if possible. Okay. When you're negotiating like this, negotiate with big numbers, depending on who you're dealing with. Now, he's talking about getting equity in the people's company. And one thing he said was, these are like, a baby for people. So you have to be careful what you're doing. You could fuck around and insult somebody. So be careful what you're saying to people about their babies. And he said billionaires have told them, let them sign the contract. So what you want to do is ask them what they are comfortable with, what makes them all nice and comfy. When you start negotiating for equity, say what number's comfortable for you. Let them hang themselves and say, listen, I'm cool with 2%, right? And then you say, all right, well, if it's at 2%, I'm going to, charge you $15,000 monthly. And then I'll take your little measly 2%. So you could also say, which is what I do, I'll go with 8,000, 10% up to 1 million if you don't want to give me a piece of your company. So I just want a piece of whatever launch that we're doing, if it's a launch situation, which a lot of times it will be. They will be launching a company, and you just say, listen, I'm going to charge you $8,000 a month or $10,000 or $15,000 a month. I'll charge you 10%, and then that's up to 1 million. After we get to $1 million, then we cut that off and we'll go back to the monthly fee or whatever. You can get creative with this, guys, but the main takeaway I got from this is ask for it. You're not going to get it. And he was like, basically, the shot that you're 100% going to miss are the 100 shots that you're not going to take, and you're not going to retake. Keep asking questions, and he was like, a closed mouth won't get fed. You have to go. And he knows for a fact, this is what he said, that you will be successful if you use these techniques, right? That's pretty much all he talked about, guys. To be honest with you, this is a very short class, and it was just about asking for equity. Now, I'm going to add this in. This doesn't go for just like established companies, and I want to tell you, just give you a quick little scenario here. So let's just say you have a music label, okay? And this is real shit right here. So here you have, I guess I can use him. Michael Jackson, okay? And this was a real scenario here. And this guy was Mr. Nobody, okay? Now, the same record label, which might have been Sony Music, okay? Michael Jackson would get something like, I think he was paying something like 15 cents or whatever. He was he would only have to pay the record label 15 cents per album, where Mr. Nobody here had to pay 25 cents or 30 cents. And why is that? Well, because they know Michael Jackson is going to sell more records, and he can negotiate better because he knows, if I come to your label, I'm doing you a favor. So I'm not going to pay you a whole bunch per album, right? As far as what you're going to get. This guy's Mr. Nobody. He's going to get a full Riemann, okay? And the same thing goes for management fees. So here we go with the same two people. You have Michael Jackson and Mr. Nobody, right? And this is true to life. So let's just say Michael Jackson decides he needs a new manager. Well, the normal rate for management is anywhere from 20%, which is industry standard, 15%, right? But can you get that from Michael Jackson or Janet Jackson or any established artist? No. They're probably going to go negotiate with you somewhere here. And why is that? Because they've already got shit lined up when you come fuck with them. No, you're not going to have to call and get Michael Jackson gigs, are you? But you will with Mr. Nobody here. You're going to have to go out and go to work for him, so you're going to have to get paid a little bit more money. And sometimes these guys are ripoff artists, though, you'll pay 25%. But with Janet Jackson, you're just pretty much getting a free 5%. Because why? People are going to call you for Janet all day and night. So she's going to tell you, listen, I'm only going to give you 5%. Sonny, this is great. How the fuck does this have anything to do with a social media marketing agency? Well, I'm gonna fucking tell ya. When you're negotiating your deals, if you have a company that's established, you're gonna get a smaller piece of equity. Why? Because fuck, if it's a $1 billion company, take 1%. Why not? But if it's a company that's just starting off and they're Mr. Nobodies, then you negotiate your 10%. So you're starting to see, right? The same thing goes for a company that's just starting out and may not have money to pay you in fees, but they're doing okay, and you might decide, feel them out and say, listen, you guys can't really afford to pay me over 4 years, but you're going to need me over the next 4 years. I tell you what I want to do, and negotiate 20% and no monthly fee. If you're confident in your services and you like the company, you'll do this. But you're not going to be able to make this deal with an established company, established since, 1800. And they've got $1 billion in receipts every year. You're not going to be able to do that. You're going to be better off negotiating this deal if they even talk to you about it, right? So even if they're considering giving you anything, you keep this shit down to 1% and 3%. because and I'm going extremes with the $1 billion in receipts, but an established company that you're getting a little bit of something going on with, you're going to ask them for 1 to 3% because now we're getting back over to that whole insult. Okay? You don't want to do that. I had a guy earlier on one of the freelancing sites that I'm on offered me such a low price, and he had been doing business with me before and never offered me a price so low, right? that I just said, you know what, man, you go fuck off. I never want to do business with you again. And he was like, oh, man, I didn't mean to do it that way. He was trying to explain himself. I'm like, man, listen, if you really valued me, why would you try to fucking offer me this type of money? Right? And at that point, I never want to do business with him again because he totally insulted me. And he didn't mean to, right? I get where he was coming from, but I didn't care at that point because you should have cared enough to know what you were doing when you wanted to deal with me. There's no way in the world you're going to do this, especially when I have a fuck you fund. That's a whole nother class. Coffee break.